or should only have one account. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's good now. Oh yeah, so if like for example Wolfspark, if you could only just have one account, that'd be good.
Yeah, so if Team Wolfspark 2 could leave, and then if you guys could, I don't know, sort of Team Wolfspark 2, if you guys could leave, that would be appreciated because it's only one account per team. Just close the tab and then you're fine.
Cool. I think we're good to go then.
Okay. Yep. Thanks so much. I will start the code now. Just some more info on the scoring of this. The faster you answer, the more points you will get. So it's not just who gets the right answer, it's who manages to do it the fastest. So I think Astrovo did it the fastest last time. Well done.
But also just to make a note of that, rather spend more time to get it right than get it wrong.
Well done to Hyperion bots. Well done. All of you got that right. Oh, wow. Okay. Codabot is the first team to have a lead for 2 rounds in a row. Well done.
Before we go to the next question, I'd just like to state something. This year is actually a very interesting part of FTC is they've actually introduced this for one of the first times, and that is in Autonomous you can actually have your human player active in auto. So that means they have two samples next to them, and they are allowed to place them in Autonomous.
Okay, and Codebot has furthered their lead. Our next question is, what happens if the robot fails to park in the designated area at the end of Autonomous?
Before we go on to the next question, you actually, if you fail to park, it doesn't matter if you score other points like placing a sample or a specimen, you will still get the points from that even if you don't park. So I saw some people said that you get no points if you don't park, but you'll still score those points if you don't park.
Okay, this is a bit harder, so we get double points. What strategy could teams use as an effective way of scoring points in auto? So you can score as many samples as possible, you can focus on disrupting the opposition, you could immediately park, or just disqualification. Well done, another, I don't know, fully correct one. Okay, this is a bit more of a simple one. How long is Telia? There's 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds, or 2 minutes. Oh wow, looks like there was quite a misconception there. So just to sort of clue you guys in, Teleop is actually, I think by Teleop we meant not including endgame. Is that correct? Because
Yeah, so there's 3 parts to the game. There's auto, Teleop, endgame. A lot of teams sometimes join Teleop and endgame together to make 2 minutes because the whole match is 2 minutes and a half. But if you just take Teleop, then that's only 1.5 minutes. As endgame, it is separate. You can do only things in endgame, but some things you can't do in Teleop. So it is a different part of the game, and that's a different 30 seconds.
yeah, so if the question was phrased as how long is driver controlled, that would be 2 minutes because endgame is technically still a driver controlled period. But seeing as it's Teleop, it's 1 minute 30. Cool. So next question is, what is the name of a sample once a clip has been attached? There's a collection, a clipped sample, a specimen, or a clipping. Oh, wow. That was very quick. Okay. Everyone got that right. Well done. Cool. So now we have samples put in the high basket and Autonomous contribute to your final score as follows, with 8 points, 16 points, 10 points, or 4 points. Looks like that was also quite a quick one. We just have 2 people left.
Yeah, so let me just explain this. This was quite a bit of a difficult one because we have been trying to increase the difficulty as the quiz follows. And so I'm sorry, I did say in the beginning to pay careful attention to the wording. So basically, yes, it is 8 if you're just scoring it in autonomous, but we said final score, so that's like the end of the match score. And since things get recounted in teleop, the things that you score in auto, if they're still in place, then it's technically 16 points to your final overall score. But the good news is that nobody got it right, so it doesn't change the scoreboard. But yeah, it's just teach like be careful of the wording, you know. There's a few small tricky things.
We are going to have quite a few more tricky questions sort of mixed in there. So just, be sure to pay attention to the wording because it will be very important. Okay, Codebot has maintained their lead. Has no one got any points? Let's go to the next question. How long is the transition between auto and teleop? So we have 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 seconds, and 10 seconds. Oh, wow. Do you want to explain it, Pete?
Sure. So basically, there is a 7-second transition for the drivers to be able to pick up their controllers in between auto and teleop. But then the reason why we say it's 10 seconds is because there's also a 3-second countdown to go into teleop. So that makes a total of 10 seconds. Also, just a reminder is that if anyone has any questions, just remember to write them down and then we will be answering any questions or try to answer any questions at the end.
Cool. So our next question is, how many scoring elements can the robot control in teleop? So this is things like samples. The time is running out, and there we go. Cool. It looks like most of you guys got it right. It is, you can indeed only control one sample or specimen. Okay, what colors can you turn into specimens to place on the chambers? Leroy Sam, sorry to hear that. I have sent the link again. I'm not totally sure if you will be able to join again, but maybe try clicking, try using the link and just let us know if that works.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like everyone got it right. Just for the people who chose the red, you can't actually score yellow samples on the chambers by turning them into specimens. It's only your line-specific colors.
Cool. I think we will move on to the leaderboard. I am going to wait until Leroy has tried using that link before I go on to the next question. Looks like Codebots has furthered that lead. Cool. So now we have. Okay, cool. Good to know that you joined us, Slovo. We will be moving on to the next question now. Okay, so we have our second true or false of the quiz. A head ref will look at a video evidence if there is proof of a foul. True or false? 12 answers already. That was very fast.
Yeah, so they actually made this rule last year, and it's basically false because it would take up way too much time if every single team had video evidence of like something, and they tried to present it to the ref. It would just take too much time, and the ref always has final say in a foul or in the match score. So their decision is always final. But you are allowed to talk with them and try debate.
Yeah, so you are still allowed to question a decision. They just won't accept any film proof, which can be a bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. Cool. It looks like Hyperion has moved into second. What is the grace period for momentary control of the wrong element or elements? 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, or 6 seconds? This is a bit of a more tricky answer, so try and take your time and just make sure you get it right.
So it is 4 seconds for the 3 people that got it right. So first I'll just explain the question because it's a bit of a tricky question. So what we mean by momentary control is you are in control of either a specimen or a sample. So say you intake the other alliance's specimen or sample, or you pick up 2 by mistake. There is a 4-second grace period where they won't give you a penalty for controlling those things. So as long as you fix the problem within 4 seconds, you're fine. But if it's longer than that, then you get a penalty.
Cool. So how do fouls/penalties work if the robot is carrying more than one element for an extended period of time? Every second, a minor foul is induced. Every 5 seconds, a minor foul is induced. Every second, a major foul is induced. Or every 5 seconds, a major foul is induced. Which one do you guys think's right?
Hey, that's good. I see a lot of you got it right that time, which is really nice. So yeah, it's since the last question was there's a 4-second grace period. Oh, okay. Someone just messaged me saying that I must tell the story. So there was a story where when we were at Worlds 2 years ago, we were playing against another team and we were losing badly. Like we were losing so badly. But then what happened is it was power play and they got a cone stuck inside their robot and they were carrying 2 cones at the same time. And so every 5 seconds, they were getting a minor penalty. And those penalties just racked up and we ended up having the highest score at Worlds, which was 399 points, but just because of all the penalties. So yeah, it's every 5 seconds a minor penalty is induced if you're carrying more than one element. Yeah, that was just an example that I gave.
Cool. So it looks like Team Wolfspark have now made it into the top 5. With regards to the rankings, we'll be taking a 5-minute breather here, just so that you guys can go get some water and sort of refresh yourselves. A reminder that we are not even halfway through the quiz yet, so don't stress if you're not in the top 5 yet. There is a long way to go. So yeah, maybe go get yourselves a glass of water and we'll resume in 5 minutes. Estrovo, do you know how many points you had at the time of your disconnection? No promises, but we can maybe try add that to the final score. Cool. So some of our TechSpan members will look into that, and hopefully we can more or less add that score to your total, depending on how things go. But yeah, we'll try to make it happen. Thanks so much. So which regions are you guys from? You can just sort of type in the chat. Anyone here from maybe Cape Town or the Northern Cape? Just sort of, I don't know, type your province and maybe the city that you guys are located. Cool. So it looks like we've got a team from Port Elizabeth and then Cape Town, Somerset West, Gauteng, Pinelands, there you go, Parklands. Claremont, Malmesbury, that's really cool. Looks like we're quite spread out here.
Yeah. Hoping to meet all of you guys this season.
Okay, I think we will be starting up in 2 minutes. So if you guys are back, could you start, sitting down and trying to focus again? Looks like we got quite a detailed location from Yamira. Thanks for that. The postal code is very necessary. It's appreciated.
Okay, I think we should get started again.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. I will move on to the next question now. Okay, what happens if your robot throws or propels a scoring element? So nothing will happen, a major foul will be induced, a minor foul will be induced, or a yellow card will be awarded. 5 answers in, oh, now 7. Looks like it's going quite fast. Five seconds left.
Okay. So basically, if your robot throws or propels an object, it is a minor foul for each occurrence. So it is not a yellow card. If it depends. If in extreme circumstances, yes, it can be. So, for example, if it hits someone, so if the robot throws a element and it hits like a referee or a person, then that would be a yellow card. But if it's just throwing or propelling it, it's just a minor foul every single occurrence.
Cool. Asterix has now moved into the top 5 and top 3. Let's start on the next question. Can a robot prevent another robot from moving, pinning? If so, how long they can pin it? How long can they pin it for before it is a foul? We have 10 seconds, 5 seconds, it's not allowed, or 7 seconds.
Yeah, so this is a big thing, especially at international competitions and the US and Romania competitions, is this thing called pitting. And it's in the rules. Basically, your robot can. Wait, what question is this? Oh, yeah, it's question 18. So if you guys go to G423 of the game manual, there is a 5-second count on pins. And your robot can pin another robot against something for up to 5 seconds. If it's longer than 5 seconds, then that's a penalty. But as long as it's in between 5 seconds, that's fine.
Cool. We will now move on to the next question, or the leaderboard at least. Your Team Wolfspark made a bit of a comeback and are now second place. Codebot has maintained their lead though. Cool. How long does Endgame last for? Once again, answers are coming in very quickly, and I think we'll be able to see the results soon.
Yeah, there's pretty much everybody on 30 seconds. So yeah, it's 30 seconds, not 60 seconds. Yeah, because the whole game is 2.5 minutes and it's the last 30 seconds.
Cool. So the next question, how many points do you get for reaching the 3rd level of Ascension in the endgame? 12 answers in already. The first 4 seconds, that is quite impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty much the majority. Yeah, so it is 30 points for the 3rd level. Second Ascension is 15, so I can see why some people might be confused there and said 15. But yeah, it's 30 points for the 3rd level, which is the highest level of Ascension.
Autonova with 3 in a row, that is quite impressive. Codebot, however, still maintaining their lead. Cool. How many points do you score for parking in endgame? We have 3 points, we have 8 points, we have 5 points, and we have 10 points. 10 answers in already. Looks like we'll be able to see the answer soon.
Yeah, the answer is 3, and that is for parking in the observation zone. And yeah, most people got that right.
Codebot with 5 answers in a row. You guys are quite literally on fire. Building up quite a lead. Let's see what this next question is. Our third true or false. Robots may only ascend on a line-specific rungs. Sorry, is this true or false? Cool. Looks like the majority got it right. Pretty self-explanatory. You can only ascend on your alliance's ranks. Otherwise, there'd be quite a few problems. Codebot once again in the lead. Asterix making it into the top 5. Looking good. Our next question, another true or false, 2 in a row. You may only ascend in autonomous or in-game. Is this true or false? Three seconds left. 1 second left. Oh, looks like not everyone did not get it. Not everyone got a chance to answer. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, it is in fact false. This is a bit of a trick question. Sorry. It says autonomous or in-game. You can only ascend in in-game. So that is false statement. Because you can't ascend in autonomous. That was a big leap.
Yeah, that was quite a big leap. Hyperion now in second, and quite a few people jumping into the top 5. Luke, what do you mean they aren't loading? It's just taking a while, or is the Kahoot just blank? Sorry, we'll try to fix this before we
Wait, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. So when you press on the next line, it just didn't load for me. It was still stuck on where it said how many points we'd gained.
Maybe just let us know if that happens again, and the question should be displayed on your phone as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe if it doesn't load and loads you in late, let's say, maybe just switch over to the Google Meet, look at the question, and then be ready with your answer for when it does load.
Okay, but you see, this time it only loaded after the time was up.
Okay, sorry, that is quite unfortunate. I think that might be on your end, just Wi-Fi wise. I don't know if anyone else had it delayed. I don't know if it was delayed for anyone else, but yeah.
Okay.
So just let us know if it happens again, and then if it does, we can try and fix it.
Okay, I will do.
Well done. It looks like 4 players have now managed to reach a 5 answer streak, so that is really good. We'll move on to the next question now.
Also, Luke, if you turn your camera off, it might reduce the Wi-Fi speed. I mean,
Cool.
It might increase the Wi-Fi speed.
Yeah, so this is double points and true or false. So try and take your time with this one. So it's 5 points are added to the opposing alliance score if you receive a minor foul. Is this true or false? Well done. It's like the majority got it right. So yeah, for those who didn't, basically the way penalties work in FTC is that instead of deducting points from your score, they will just add it to the opposing alliance's score. Luke, did it work for you? Okay, I'm going to assume it did. Well done to Codebot. You guys are on first, and Ostrovo, who's got a streak of 6. Well done. Cool, so we're back to the quizzes, and this is also double points. How many clips can your robot possess? We have 1, we have 5, we have 3, and we have any number. 9 answers in already.
Yeah, so I see a few people got it right, but the majority answered one. So this was originally not in the game manual, but then so many people were asking if your robot could possess clips, that they actually added it into the game manual, updated it about a week and a half ago, and so your robot can now possess an infinite amount of clips. The only rule is that you're not allowed to preload the clips. Your robot has to intake the clips. So if you just want to intake the clips by themselves, you can actually do that. You might want to have a lot of clips inside your robot. It would be very complicated to do, but in theory, you could have a mechanism that automatically clips the clips onto samples to make specimens inside your robot. But that's a very complex mechanism, and I don't think a lot of teams, if any, will be doing it. But it's just a very interesting thought, and could help you.
Yeah, and the benefit of that is then instead of having to take the samples all the way to your human player for them to clip the clips on, you can just take the samples immediately and then clip them immediately. So it'll save quite a bit of travel time. Cool. We will move on to the next. So at your robot's full extension, what can the maximum dimensions be? 42 by 20 inches, 18 inches by 18 inches, 26 by 14 inches, or 60 by 48 centimeters?
Yeah, that is the correct answer. So probably a lot of you guys will know, but there was a massive rule change this year in that your horizontal extension has now been limited. And so now you're only allowed a maximum of 42 horizontal extension and then 20 inches width. And you're not allowed to go outside of that box when at max extension, but you are allowed to have software limits.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the maximum. Let's move on to the leaderboard. Sorry. Codebot still in first. You guys have had a lead for a while, and Ferrobots, well done on the answer streak of 4. Okay, so this is also double points. In auto, contact with an opposing alliance's robot, which is completely within the opposing alliance's half of the field, is fine as long as there is no damage to the opposing alliance's robot. There will be a foul/penalty of 15 points. It will get you a yellow card, or will get you a red card.
This one is a bit more difficult and is longer. Yeah, so as said, this is a bit of a longer question. They actually made this rule 2 years ago during power play season. The reason was that at Worlds in one of the finals matches, there was one robot that always crossed into the other part of the other alliance's part of the field, and they always just knocked them out of the way and totally messed up their autonomous, but their autonomous was fine. And it made them win Worlds, actually. So it was a very good strategy, a very bit of a mean strategy, but yeah, that's why there is now a penalty on it, as they wanted to prevent that from ever happening again.
Zandi, to answer your question, we are recording this meeting, so we can share that with you, and you will then in turn be able to see the answers to the quiz. We could possibly also share the quiz with you. I'll just have to look into that a bit. Arthur, sorry to hear that. And sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Please do let us know if they continue, and then maybe we can try and pause for a bit. Cool. So in auto, a neutral sample taken from the opposing alliance's spike mark and put in the low basket will result in a score of 4 for your alliance, 8 for your alliance, -5 for your alliance, or 15 for the opposing alliance.
I don't know what this is what we totally
Sorry, Wasim, if we could answer your question in the leaderboard slide, that'd be great. Pete, do you want to explain this?
Yeah, sorry. This question seems like quite a lot of people got wrong. So this was a bit of a strange question. But if you read it is, let me find, hold on a second, I'll be 1 second. Yeah, so this is question 27. And if you go to the game manual G404, there is a rule that says no auto opponent interference. So this is the opposing alliance's samples that are put on the spike marks. And then if you take them, then that will be a major penalty, and then that'll be added to the opposing alliance's score.
Hope that made sense. We can move on to the leaderboard now. Looks like we've had a bit of an upset. Codabot is no longer in first, and well done to Team Willspark, who also now have an answer streak of 3. Wasim, do you have a question? Or
yeah, sure. Can I just I just wanted to raise that we were logged out of the Kahoot. So we're just trying to get in again. This is from Codabot.
Cool. Thanks for letting us know. Do you have a link? If not,
we're on the link, but when we're trying to rejoin with the nickname that we used earlier on, it's saying the nickname is already in use. So we're not able to pretty much pick up from where we left off there.
You're muted, Matt.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it looks like you guys, Kahoot still thinks that you guys are in the quiz. So maybe what we will have to do is, can you log in with a different name that still tells us who you are, and then we can just total the score of both those accounts.
Okay, cool. We'll do so.
I will stay on this and just let me know when you're in.
Okay, cool. So we rejoin now. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Matt, you can carry on, I think.
Okay, cool. I will move on to the next question now. Cool. So this question is, how many autonomous points will you get by scoring a sample in the low basket? Will you get 4, 8, 16, or 2?
Yeah, so the correct answer is 4. Just a reminder, there are 2 baskets. There's the low basket and the high basket. If you score a sample in the low basket, it's 4 points, and if you score it in the high basket, it is 8 points. So I think quite a lot of people got that mixed up. And then, no, it is not 16 points, because, yeah, it's not 16 points.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the leaderboard. Looks like Team Codebot are once again in first. Well done to you guys, and well done to Hyperion, who are now second. Cool, so this question is, how many autonomous points will you get by scoring a specimen on the low chamber? 4, 6, 8, or 10? Well done. Looks like most of you guys got it right. It is indeed 6. Just a reminder that autonomous points are different from final points. But then it is recounted in Teleop, hence why it is doubled in your final points. Cool, everything has stayed the same. Let's move on to the next question. So how many alliance-specific samples can be accessed for scoring in Autonomous? We have 3, 5, 18, or 20.
Yeah, so this was also a bit of an interesting question. And I can see why a lot of you guys answered 3. So obviously there's the 3 that are on the spike marks during Autonomous, and those are your color. But then there is also the rest of them are in the submersible, and that totals to 20 being on the field, and all of them are actually available to score in Autonomous, so you can still score them. It's just a fact of actually getting them from the submersible. Oh, and there's also 2 by the human player, but they can also allow to place them inside field. So every single one of the Alliance samples are available for scoring in Autonomous.
Yeah. Wasim, have you got some more problems? Your hand is raised. I'm not sure that we will be able to stop as it is getting quite late. But yeah.
I know that it was raised from earlier on. Apologies for that.
Okay, cool. No problem. Cool. This question is for double points. How many neutral samples are placed in the submersible? We have 10, 15, 30, and 40.
Yeah, so a very quick, brief explanation. There are 40 neutral samples in total, but only 30 are placed inside the submersible, as the others are placed on the spike marks and are given to the human players between the 2 alliances.
Cool. Looks like Codebot are still first. Let's move to the next question. Will you guys answer? Just a quick apology as we are now running over time. Thanks for hanging with us, and we are. Cool. How many roles are there on the drive team? We have 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yep. So that it looks like everyone got that right, mostly.
Codabots are still in first. Well done on the answer streak of 6. Okay, so we have how many points do you score for a sample that is only partially in the net zone? 0, 1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, so as long as it's partially inside, the points are still scored. So you might have thought it was a trick question, but as long as it's touching the tape or inside of the net zone, it still counts as being inside the net zone. And that's why we say partially, because if it's just a bit in, then it's still part of the net zone, and that's why it scores 2 points.
Well done to Asterix to getting into the top 5. How many points are scored at the end of the match for samples that are fully in the observation zone? We have 0, 1, 2, or 3 again.
So yeah, this is a bit of an interesting question. So the correct answer is 2. Well done for those 2 teams. But the reason why it is 0, sorry, I meant to say 0. The reason why it is 0 points is that the observation zone isn't actually a scoring zone. It's only for the human player to get samples and turn them into specimens and then place them back inside the field. But it does, the samples that are placed in there and the specimens that are placed in there don't actually count for any points.
Cool. Looks like Codabot are maintaining their lead. Well done. Well done to Autonova with an answer streak of 4. Let's move on to the next question. Cool. So the removal of samples from the net zone of the opposing alliance is allowed for scoring by your own alliance, is a minor foul, or is a major foul?
Yep, looks like the majority got it right. It is a major foul as you're taking from the opposing alliance's samples. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Looks like once again, Codabot in first. Let's move on to the next question. To get points for level 1 ascent, the robot must be in their alliance ascent zone, touching the low rung, in their alliance ascent zone, and touching the low rung. Something else. Sandy, we can indeed share the recording. I'm not sure if there will be a transcript. I'll find out some more details on that for you now.
Yeah, so just a quick explanation on this question. It says that you can park in the observation zone and you have to be fully inside, or you have to be in the observation zone, but it doesn't actually specify whether you have to be inside the alliance ascent zone, and it says you only have to be touching the low rung for the ascent 1. So that's not hanging, that is just touching the bar, that counts as level 1 ascent.
Cool. Let's move on to the leaderboard. Codebot once again in first. Well done to you guys. And let's move forward. So to get points for level 3 ascent, the robot must be fully supported by the high rung, completely above the top of the low rung, or both.
Yeah, so it has to be fully supported by the high rung and completely above the low rung, which makes it both. That is quite challenging, as it means that you can't be touching the low rung at all, and you have to be completely above it. So you have to somehow get around the low rung.
Cool. Another true or false. There's no weight limit on a robot, but your team could still be penalized, if it damages the field tiles. Is this true or false?
Yeah, this statement is in fact true, as you are allowed as heavy as a robot as you want, as long as it doesn't damage the field tiles, because then they can charge you for damaging the field, and that would be a penalty.
Cool. And next question. The following items are allowed on your robot: hydraulic fluids or hydraulic items, lead weights, springs and elastics, or all of the above. Answers are coming in pretty fast.
Yep, it looks like most of you guys saw there was only springs and elastics that were allowed. So no, you're definitely not allowed any fluids on your robot, especially hydraulic fluids or hydraulic items, as that is not allowed in FTC. And you're also not allowed lead weights, as it can give off toxic fumes. And yeah, that is illegal.
Team Wolfpack moving into third. Our top 5 looking quite solid. Let's move on to the next question. Well done, RoboStones, on your 3-answer streak. A robot can have up to 8 DC motors. Which of these statements is true? There is a short list of the only allowable motors, or any DC motor within given specifications, for voltage are allowed.
Yep, that is correct. That you are only allowed a few different types of motors, and they are all specified within the competition manual.
Yep. What is the maximum size of your robot? What is the maximum size your robot must be before the match starts? Sorry.
Yep, so it is 18 inches. So a lot of people said it was the blue 18 inches squared, but if you think about it, it's also cubed, because it has to fit within a box of 18 inches. So 18 inches by 18 inches by 18 inches, which is cubed, not just squared.
Cool. Another true or false. The team number can be handwritten in blue or red or blue ink as long as the size of the numbers is taller than 6 inches. True or false?
Yep, the correct answer is false. It was a very big rule change this year that hasn't really been done before. If you want more information, go to 12.4 of the game manual on robot sign rules. They changed a lot about the robot signs.
Yeah, just some more on that. That is actually, if you were to look at any of the game manual this season, one of the most important parts, because some very big changes have been made there. So we really do suggest that you check it out. Another true or false. Robots must include a team-supplied alliance-specific marker on the two opposite sides of the robot. True or false?
Yeah, so the reason why it is now false is also because of the robot sign rule change. You no longer need to have a alliance-specific marker. It's now built into your number, and your number has to be changed before each match, depending on which alliance you are. So it also shows which color alliance you are on. So definitely go read the robot sign rules to get more information on how to make your robot sign for this season.
Cool. We are now down to our last 3 questions. Codebot still in first, and RoboStones is now back with an answer streak of 3. Well done. Your driver station and controller must also be inspected to check things like, and then you got to select the most correct answer, that the Wi-Fi bands and or channels are permitted, the device or controller is configured with your team number, your device software is up to date, or all of the above.
Yep, it is in fact all of the above, as they have to check all of that when doing your field inspection.
If a team would like to clarify or dispute the results of a qualification match using the correct process, they must send a team member to the question box within 10 minutes of the match, tell a referee and send a team member to the question box, send a team member to the question box anytime before alliance selection, or you can't clarify or dispute the results of a match.
Yeah, so this was a rule change this season. You can now send any team member from your team to the question box anytime before alliance selection. So anytime within the qualification matches, you can go and query a match, and then depending on how serious the query is, they might decide to either replay the match or to change the results of the match if there is enough reason for them to do so.
Cool. Down to our last question and last true or false of the quiz. First Tech Challenge is a high contact competition that may include rigorous gameplay, so robots should be robust. True or false? 10 seconds left, and the majority of the answers are in.
Oh.
A reminder to please stay for a bit after this quiz. You can leave as the time is up. But we will be having a little Q&A session.
Yeah, so the answer is true. The First Tech Challenge is in fact, or can be a high contact competition. That does include a bit of rigorous gameplay, so robots should be robust. This is especially seen within competitions overseas, such as Romania and Worlds, and especially in the higher up matches, there is quite a lot of interaction between the different robots on the field. And so, yeah, you should design your robot to be quite robust, just in case.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, just a quick correction on my part. Don't leave yet, as we still, need to reveal the scores. But after that, we'll be having a Q&A, and if you wish, you could leave before that. I would suggest staying though. Is quite a bit of quite a bit of useful information will be said.
No problem.
Also, thanks. We will also be sharing the recording of this quiz soon.